Jay is one of Australia's 8 million renters with a growing problem: debt.
I'm not even sleeping over, worrying about rent, and I know I'm not the only one.
The coronavirus health crisis kicked off an economic calamity and panic.
Do I pay rent or do I buy food?
I've got no home.
I can tell you there's many landlords will just quite simply go bust.
I just don't know what I'm going to do.
6 weeks ago, the Prime Minister gave comfort to the 1 in 3 Australians that rent.
There would be a moratorium on evictions for the next 6 months.
The Big Four banks offered to pause mortgage repayments, and almost 10% of landlords have taken up the offer. It bought the system time, but it wasn't a solution. Many agreements between renters and landlords are simply deferring rent to the end of the emergency period.
The tenant may find themselves in a very bad position.
Landlords aren't waiving the debt, renters are accruing it.
I'm $1,600 in arrears, which is a lot of money when you look at it. And, I'm willing to pay the money back as soon as I start working. I just expected a bit more, compassion of now while we're in this pandemic.
We've created a rent debt bomb. In the worst case scenario, a person or couple who were already living week to week before they lost their jobs, or find themselves unable to access government support. The median weekly rent in one of our largest capital cities isn't cheap. If they haven't been able to pay the rent for 6 months, they're facing a September shock they won't be able to meet. Property managers have told the ABC the issue could affect up to 10% of tenants.
We have to consider where the tenant is going to be in 6 months' time and what sort of a debt has been accumulated.
New South Wales represents between 35 and 40% of the nation's real estate market. Its leaders warn the short-term solution isn't a permanent fix.
Even if the tenant is able to go back to their job, that they are going to find it difficult to secure the necessary funds week on week to be able to wear down that rental deferment.
We have landlords with the ability to be able to be flexible on their rents, but we also have landlords that just won't survive it. There's only so many months that landlords can survive without having the full rent in place.
Half of Australia's workforce is on government support, and that expires in September as well.
This is a really serious problem. We see this in disadvantaged communities all the time, where people on low or limited incomes fall into debt. They then start to accrue penalties and interest on top of those debts.
What government is doing is that they are hoping that all of this will solve itself. And as we know, hope is not a strategy.
The thought of, going to get another loan just to pay those arrears kind of scares me, because I can't do that. And I am worrying about where this money is going to come from.
There's still time to defuse the bomb, but as the deadline gets closer, expect the pressure to increase and more sleepless nights.